Bonjour and welcome to this week's French lesson with me, Jennifer, your French teacher in the south of France. So I've been working these last few videos on building a playlist for what I call the power verbs. If you've seen the last few videos on the verbs aller, to go, and vouloir, to want, you know what I'm talking about. Today's video is about the verb pouvoir. So what is it that I'm calling a power verb? It's not written in the books, not in many books anyway. A power verb is a verb that you can use in a sentence, and you can very easily use it to communicate just by adding another verb after it. But the verb that comes after it, you don't have to know how to conjugate, because you can just use it in the regular non-conjugated form, otherwise known as what? The infinitive. That's right, l'infinitif. So today I'm going to talk to you about the verb pouvoir. So pouvoir means can or to be able to in the present tense. Rather than just telling you, here's the conjugation of the verb pouvoir, which is really dull and boring and you don't quite know what to do with it, I'm going to give you some examples, sample sentences. Hopefully you can learn some new vocabulary as you're going through these sentences with me. I'll tell them to you in English and French. And here's a new feature for learning French with me here on YouTube. I am going to start, I already started in the last video, the one for vouloir, making study sets for you to use on Quizlet.com. So I've created basically a class. It's called Jennifer Crespin's YouTube French class, and all you have to do is join it. It's free to join, so this is just something that I'm doing to help you, and all you have to do is you'll have to follow the link that's down in the description of this video to get there. You ask to join the class and it will send me a notification. I'll accept, and then you can have access to these exercises, and I put some other stuff on there too. All right, so today you're going to learn these conjugations, you're going to learn these examples, all the new vocabulary. Then you can go on Quizlet. If you're not familiar what that is, it's a website, and there's also an app, so you can use it on your telephone or tablet, and you can practice using flashcards, and then there's also games and stuff that you can play, and once you know the vocabulary really well, there's even a test that you can take just to test your knowledge. So it's a great way to practice and to master this new vocabulary. So even if you haven't learned these verbs in the present tense, you don't know how to use the passé composé, you don't know about the imparfait, if you memorize them, then you can start using them. So pay close attention to the way that these are translated into English so that you'll know exactly, especially in the past tense, whether you should use the imparfait or the passé composé. All right, let's go. I'm going to give you some examples then. Starting out in the present tense. So we'll begin with je, as usual. Je peux venir te chercher à la gare. Je peux venir te chercher à la gare. You see how I just said je peux, so that's your conjugation for je in the present tense, and I follow it up with an infinitive. In this case, it's the infinitive venir, which means to come. Je peux venir te chercher à la gare. I can come to get you at the train station. To make it negative, je ne peux pas venir te chercher à la gare. I can't come get you at the train station. The tu form. Tu peux mettre la table. Tu peux mettre la table. Can you set the table? That verb mettre means to put, but in French, if you want to say to set the table, you have to say mettre la table. Tu ne peux pas mettre la table? You can't set the table? What's wrong with you? Can't you do that? Aide-moi, help me a little bit. In the il form, it's a third person singular. Il peut aller chercher son colis à la poste. Il peut aller chercher son colis à la poste. He can go get his package at the post office. Or, il ne peut pas aller chercher son colis à la poste. He can't go get his colis, his package, at the post office. Right? Here we go with nous. Pouvons-nous aller au cinéma ensemble? Pouvons-nous aller au cinéma ensemble? Can we go to the movies together or to the cinema together? Ne pouvons-nous pas aller au cinéma ensemble? Can't we go to the movies together? And in the vous form, vous pouvez faire le café? Vous pouvez faire le café? Can you make the coffee? Vous ne pouvez pas faire le café? You can't make the coffee? All right, here's the Lll Plural Form. Ils peuvent appeler quand ils veulent. Ils peuvent appeler quand ils veulent. They can call, appeler. Ils peuvent appeler quand ils veulent. So that's a sentence with two power verbs in it. You've got the verb pouvoir. Il peut appeler, or ils peuvent appeler when they want, quand ils veulent. So that's something very common in French also, just a little side note. When someone asks you, when are you going to come over? You can say, quand tu veux, when you like. Or comme tu veux, as you like. That's really, really, really common to do that in French. Okay, so that was the present tense conjugation and examples of the verb pouvoir. Now we're going to move into the past tense. So what I'm going to do for this part of the lesson is I'm going to give you examples in the imparfait, which you remember, you use the imparfait when you're talking about something that you used to do or when you're describing the past. And I'm going to give you examples, the same example, but in the passé composé, and show you how the meaning changes. All right, so you'll know better when to use imparfait versus passé composé, which is sometimes a little tricky for people. All right, so here we go. Let me look at my examples. All right, so in the imparfait, je pouvais prendre rendez-vous chez le médecin. Je pouvais prendre rendez-vous chez le médecin. I could make an appointment at the doctor's. So when you want to say I could, in terms of it's something that I used to be able to do, I'm not talking about one isolated incident. I'm not talking about a Tuesday morning when I needed to go to the doctor. I'm just talking about something in general in the past that happened. So I'm describing the past. If I make that negative, je ne pouvais pas prendre rendez-vous chez le médecin. Notice in French, to make an appointment, you say prendre rendez-vous. So to take an appointment, all right? Things don't always translate exactly right from French to English. I mean, not exactly the same words, you know? Now, if I put that same sentence in the passé composé, and I say, j'ai pu prendre rendez-vous chez le médecin, it means something different. Because I'm talking about an isolated situation here. I say I was able to make an appointment at the doctor's office, or I managed to make an appointment at the doctor's office. You see how it's different? It really, really matters if you choose between, you have to choose between the imparfait and the passé composé. To make that one negative, je n'ai pas pu prendre rendez-vous chez le médecin. I wasn't able to make an appointment at the doctor's office. Okay, so here we go. Second one, tu. Tu pouvais finir tes devoirs? So I would use that. That means you could finish your homework. I'm talking about maybe when you were a kid and you had to stay at school an hour after in the study hall or something like that. And during that time, you could finish your homework. You see, I'm not talking about, oh, you know, the one time my mom left me at school for an hour afterwards, which is what I do to my kids sometimes, then, you know, I was able to do it. And if you want to say that, then you would say, j'ai pu finir mes devoirs. Or in this case, we're using, what are we using? We're using tu. Tu as pu finir tes devoirs? Tu as pu finir tes devoirs? Were you able to finish your homework? Tu n'as pas pu finir tes devoirs? You weren't able to finish your homework? All right, now in the third person singular, we're going to use elle this time. Elle pouvait attendre quelques jours. Elle pouvait attendre quelques jours. She could wait a few days. Or, in the negative, elle ne pouvait pas attendre quelques jours. She couldn't wait a couple of days. In the passé composé, elle a pu attendre quelques jours. She was able to wait, or she managed to wait a few days. Or, on the other hand, elle n'a pas pu attendre quelques jours. She wasn't able to wait a few days. The new form, nous pouvions, in the imparfait, nous pouvions partir en vacances. Nous pouvions partir en vacances. It means we could go on vacation. Here's another thing, just want to point it out to you because in English we say to go on vacation, at least in American English, we say to go on vacation, or I guess, you know, we go on holiday. But in French you use the verb partir instead of to go, instead of aller. And vacances is always plural, okay? So nous pouvions partir en vacances. We could go on vacation. It was awesome. When I was little, we could go on vacation all the time. Or nous ne pouvions pas partir en vacances. We couldn't go on vacation. In the passé composé, here's the difference. Nous avons pu partir en vacances. We were able to go on vacation. Or, nous n'avons pas pu partir en vacances. We weren't able to go on vacation. Super. Here we go. The vous. Vous pouviez voir votre grand-mère à Noël. Vous pouviez voir votre grand-mère à Noël. You could see your grandmother at Christmas. Or, vous ne pouviez pas voir votre grand-mère à Noël. You couldn't see your grandmother at Christmas. In the passé composé, vous avez pu voir votre grand-mère à Noël. You were able to see your grandmother at Christmas. In the negative, vous n'avez pas pu voir votre grand-mère à Noël. You weren't able to see your grandmother at Christmas. Are you getting all of this? Lots of new vocabulary. You have to go check out the Quizlet. It's awesome. If you don't know this, if you don't know about Quizlet yet, you don't only have to use what I give you. You can also, once you create an account and it's free, you can make yourself study sets. It's awesome. It really is. You can practice no matter where you are. I don't know. It's not new to me, but it's something I just started using a lot, and I just think I think it's a lot of people tell me it's fun and very useful. So if you're not sure, just go give it a try. If you don't like it, don't worry about it. Do something else. If you have something else that's better, let me know in the comments because I want to know that kind of stuff. I want to know how I can help you learn French better. Here is your last example, and we're using the Lll Plural Form. In the imparfait, il pouvait rencontrer le président Obama lors de leur visite à Washington. That's a really long example. I couldn't think of anything else, so I asked my husband, I was like, come on, tell me, what can I do with il pouvait? And that's what he gave me. So there you go. They could meet President Obama at the time of their last visit to Washington. Or you can make it negative. Ils ne pouvaient pas rencontrer le président Obama lors de leur visite à Washington. They couldn't meet President Obama at the time of their visit to Washington. All right, here is the passé composé. Ils ont pu rencontrer le président Obama lors de leur visite à Washington. They were able to meet President Obama at the time of their visit to Washington. Or, to make it negative, ils n'ont pas pu rencontrer le président Obama lors de leur visite à Washington. They weren't able or they didn't manage to meet President Obama at the time of their visit to Washington. Voila. So now you have a third, I'm doing it the American way, third, this is the French way. You have a third verb in your set of power verbs to help you speak more and more French. And I promise you, if you get these down in these three tenses, it would make a huge difference if you're a relatively new speaker to this lovely French language. I know what it's like. I've learned French. I didn't grow up speaking French. I learned it the same way as you. So I'm here to help. And if you ever have questions, it won't be the first time I've heard it. Ask, and I'll do what I can to help you. Merci beaucoup. And as always, if you want to take any Skype lessons directly with me, I do that. So you can follow the link here at the bottom of the page. And you know what? Come join us on Facebook. It's really a lot of fun. You can follow the link there as well to join us on Facebook, and we'll build a little community and we'll help each other out. Share stories, share triumphs, share, oh man, that really didn't work for me. I don't know why I tried it. All right, guys, so I'll see you next time with a video on the last power verb that I'm going to talk about, and that's going to be the verb devoir. It will change your life. Merci beaucoup. Ciao. While I'm looking for the off button, bisous.